Hello and welcome, gamers, to Weekend Rental, episode 38. We are everyone's favorite gaming and geek culture podcast, and we're also here to inform you that David Crane made gaming cool in 1980. So suck on that, Drake. My name's Ryan. As always, I'm joined by Andy.
Hey.
Nate.
What's going on, guys?
And Justin.
Hey, everyone.
So we get
Yay.
Justin back for an episode. Holiday spectacular. We had to get the gang back together. So it's nice to have you back on the podcast again. Does it feel like home?
It does.
Aww. All right. So we are going to do a buy, rent, burn, but we're changing it up a little bit. We wanted to do holiday themed games. So we're not sticking to a specific system this go around, but we do have 3 games that we all played and we'll give our thoughts on. So let's start things off with the oldest console. With the NES, we've got Snow Brothers. For the Super Nintendo, we have gone with Home Alone. And on the almighty Game Boy Advance, we have Elf Bowling 1 and 2. So let's go back up and we'll hear a description on the first game we're going to discuss, Snow Brothers. So description here: snowing the enemy is a real ball. That doesn't make sense right off the bat. But snowing isn't a verb, like in that sense. It's not
There are. It is in some corners of the internet.
Okay. Oh God. Right to it. Right into it. All right. Well, this will be fitting. So the next line: whee! Get ready for an avalanche of action. The madcap Snow Brothers are slipping, sliding, and slinging snowballs. Turning them up. I can't do it.
I cannot do this. Oh my gosh.
It just got
took
worse.
it to a place. That's all right, guys. Here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to try to get this back on track. Okay, the evil King Scorch has kidnapped the shimmering Frost Princess and is about to take over Snowland. He's trapped the Snow Brothers, Nick and Tom, in an ice house full of freezing baddies. The 2 cool crusaders sling a slug of snow at their captors to chill them out. Okay. But to escape, they've got to ice the abominable snow boss. Shivering hot action for 1 or 2 players. Ice foes bigger, badder, and better at catching you. Grab hot sauce and cool treats for big bonus points. So,
Man, that's quite the intro.
yeah, out of context, that was lovely.
100%.
So basically, that's a lot of story for what is essentially Capcom's version of Bubble Bobble. And I'll admit, it's a good game. It's a great copycat. They kind of nailed it. This is one of my favorite 2-player games on the NES. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It is Bubble Bobble, pretty much, or at least competing with it directly. But it's a fun game and very addicting, extremely addicting. Ryan, you said that you got 40 levels in or something like that?
Yeah, my son and I got to level 48 last night, which is, we play this game a lot, and that is by far the best run we've ever had.
That's amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, I find myself just sitting, playing over and over and over again. It's really good.
Yeah, I honestly thought it kind of reminded me of what's the one where you pump up the enemies with that hose? Is it Dingle?
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
Because
it's got
it
some of
kind of
those
got that
elements.
too. But yeah, mostly Bubble Bobble. And yeah, it plays great. When I first loaded into it, I was kind of wondering what it was going to be, and controls exact same. It plays really good.
Yeah, I mean, literally the way you take out enemies is just a complete lift. I mean, Bubble Bobble, you blow bubbles, capture the enemies in a bubble, pop them. Here, you throw snow, turn the enemies into snowballs, and throw the snowballs to smash them. So, aside from a little more strategy and how you're going to clear some of the enemies with rolling the snowballs, and the boss fights are way more frequent in this game every 10 levels. It really feels like a very good clone of Bubble Bobble, and even down to the fact that it's got one soundtrack that repeats through the entire game, and it's a great soundtrack. It's not. I don't love it as much as I love the Bubble Bobble jingle, but it's close.
Yeah.
It doesn't get in your head as much as the Bubble Bobble one,
Right, which
for
might be
sure.
okay actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I almost like this better because it's like having that water attack in Bubble Bobble like all the time, you know?
Sure.
That's kind of how you attack every situation, is try to get to the top and then
Yeah, that's true.
snowball and then try and get them out as much as you can that way.
I feel like the snowballs were kind of strange, though, in how they took the path. Sometimes they would go across little openings. Sometimes they would hit the edge and just drop.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
wasn't a big deal, but it's just kind of hard to, make sure that you're going to get all of them.
Yeah, that's true. And like a couple times when I was rolling on them, it might have just been in my mind, like that I was pressing the direction I wanted to roll and then it did it. But I don't think it did. I think it might have been random, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was a few times where like it rolled the wrong way. I felt like it rolled the wrong way, and again, it's probably how I was playing it, but yeah, it's a game that I really haven't played, and I just have no experience with the game whatsoever until maybe 6 months ago. I emulated it, and it's definitely fun.
Yeah, it's great. And what's interesting too, once you cross into levels 40 and up, it uses the same drop through the floor mechanic that Bubble Bobble does, where there's holes, and you have to drop down to get on the upper parts of the neck. So it is like to a T cloning that game. But again, it's a great game. I wish it didn't cost $350 to buy.
That's insane.
Because I would love to own it. Just not that much. I'll stick with my 151 bootleg. Thank you very much.
How many levels are on that?
I'm just gonna guess it's 100, just like Bubble Bobble. If they're cloning that's my guess, but I don't know.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Have any of you played the arcade one
version?
No, I didn't know there was.
No, I didn't know there was.
Yeah,
one.
I haven't either. But I noticed that when researching this, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's still 2-player then, or is it?
I believe so. Yeah.
My guess is that cabinet is very expensive.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it never came over here either.
Oh, that could be.
Because I've never heard of it.
Interesting.
All right, let's move on to the next pick. Home Alone, Super Nintendo. So the description: the riches of the McAllister home are under siege again. From the Wet Bandit gang, as young Kevin, you defend the family's treasure against his old foes, Marv and Harry. But this time, the bumbling crooks brought some tough friends to even the score. Their recent stretch behind bars has given them plenty of ideas to exact revenge on our little hero. So you join Kevin as he races through the McAllister mansion, sets off wild booby traps, and ensures the villains discover the hidden treasures, and secures them in the basement vault. Be careful, some nasty nightmares await Kevin in the dusty, murky shadows of the cellar. Help Kevin thwart the Wet Bandits. I didn't realize that this was like sort of not following the story of the movie. It explains why there's other guys there. I didn't realize this was like after their Home Alone jail time. Yeah. Interesting.
This game has gotten so much attention in the last week.
We should really have our special guest. Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin, yeah.
I'm the pizza boy, guys. I'm just the pizza boy.
Which it was fantastic. That was quite the surprise, and that whole AVGN thing was pretty cool.
I was surprised when you texted me that you watched it because I didn't think you subscribed to him.
I don't know. Again, it popped up on the feed, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I thought it was just a thumbnail. Like, they got him to, I don't know. I thought it was a thumbnail, but nope, it is Macaulay Culkin. But this game is weird. It's, I don't know. Again, you watch the movie of Home Alone, so you have this picture in your mind of how the game should go, and you're setting up all these booby traps, and the game's nothing like that at all. Actually, it reminded me, like the graphic style reminded me a little bit of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Maybe just on it's not even close to being that type of game, but it just
The
has
color
a
palette,
similar, yeah, the color palette, and even like the character design is a little over the top. Weird game. It just plays weird. Doesn't make any sense on what you're doing, and the bad guys, like, it's just they look like mobster bosses just standing there doing nothing. It's so weird.
Yeah, there's like 20 of them, but it's the same character sprite. It's just so dumb.
Yeah. Took me a long time to actually figure out what you're supposed to do. Like, my bag was already full and I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I'd run past stuff and then just sit there. And then eventually I found out to be able to drop it down. But yeah, another thing that really bothered me about the game is a couple spots where you'll go through a door and you get the walking enemies. And they'll stop literally on the door, so you'll come through the door and get hit immediately.
Yeah. It's frustrating. Yeah, and it is like really cryptic. It's basically like a Home Alone themed scavenger hunt. I mean, really is all there is to it.
Yeah.
It's better than the NES counterparts, but it's still not a good game.
That house is huge. It just keeps on going forever and ever. I'm like, how big is this house? The McAllisters are doing well.
Yeah.
Well, they're putting money in the toilet, so yes.
Yeah, pizza in the toilets, everything.
Well, even like we just watched Home Alone 2 on Sunday, and I was watching that and I was like, damn, what does Kevin's dad do? Like, this is like $1 million house.
In Chicago.
Right,
so.
yeah. Might work for the mob.
Maybe.
Well.
Maybe he sent the Wet Bandits to his house for an insurance claim.
He actually made gaming cool and was the first video game streamer.
Yeah.
Suck it, Ninja.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of better than I expect for most licensed games on the Super Nintendo. And I could sit down and sink some time into this game, but it's definitely one of those things that if you got under your tree as a kid, you'd be a little disappointed with, for sure.
I like the exploration part of it, though, where you're really checking out like the dressers and checking out everything. I thought that made it a little bit better.
Like digging through people's dresser drawers.
Hey, I didn't say I was sniffing anything. I was just saying.
Wow.
Grabbing the jewels.
Yeah.
Grabbing the jewels.
And the random neck massager from Mom and Dad's room.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Batteries not included.
I have to agree, though. Like, I like that part of it. And then as soon as I got in the basement or whatever, I was like done with it because then it became like a platformer where you had to like get away from all the bats and rats and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a bummer, though, because like the first door you come out, there's that bowling ball. And you do that trap like right away. And you're like, okay, this is going somewhere. And that's like the only trap that I set off in the whole game.
There's cars and stuff down on the one floor.
Okay.
Like cars and those little jack things or whatever.
Oh, yeah, but don't those hurt you if you get on
Yeah.
them too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they could have leaned into that part more, that's for sure. Plus more...
I mean, that's really what the whole movie's about.
Right,
So.
yeah,
Right.
more of the actual bad guys, too, would have been a little bit better.
Took me a long time to get back up the stairs, too. Like, everything I did, it would not register to go back upstairs. I don't know.
Castlevania-ish.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about our last game here. Elf Bowling 1 and 2 for the Game Boy Advance. So this gives separate descriptions on each game, which is interesting. So 2 holiday classics in one package. Elf Bowling 1, strap on your best pair of bowling skates and polish up your shiny Christmas ball. It's time to save Christmas from those greedy little union elves. Help Santa show the elves what the true meaning of strike is. That's sinister. So, Elf Bowling 2, Elves in Paradise. The Snickering Elves are back with Santa, but there's a new twist as Santa's ne'er-do-well brother, Dingle Kringle, joins Santa and the elves on a cruise ship headed for island adventure. Compete in a crazy shuffleboard tournament, again, not bowling, with the elves serving as pucks and providing their own special colorful commentary. Dingle
Kringle. Yes. I love it. Dingle Kringle definitely invented the fiddle faddle.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Too soon. So for anyone who isn't familiar with Elf Bowling 1 and 2, these were
'Cause who
early
is?
and very popular Flash games back in the day. Like most of us were probably introduced to them as free games that you could play in your browser during class when you're supposed to be doing something else. They were crude, they were simple, and they were dumb. And for whatever reason, somebody decided to slap both of them on one cartridge, do nothing to update or improve them, and call it a game that you should buy in stores for your Nintendo Game Boy Advance.
I certainly did not pick up on the political anti-union shit that's
Oh,
going on in this
The
game.
sinister undertones. It's horrible. That's Santa.
I'm
I mean, they're-
surprised that they threw it on the shelves. Like that just doesn't seem like a Nintendo move at all. It is such a dumb game. I mean, I went straight to the like Paradise Bowling or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was my first experience. I'm seeing like these butt cheeks of an elf just like hanging out there, and they're sitting in Speedos. I'm like, what is going on? I'm really confused. Where's the bowling aspect of this? And you're just sliding these guys on their Speedo butts, whatever, all the way down to on the ship. I don't know.
I
It was
love
so
when you go
weird.
off the edge of the ship too. They're just like eaten alive by sharks at the end.
By
It's
sharks,
So
Yes.
great. So great.
Yeah, the biggest message of here are that elves are not people.
Right.
Like,
No. Hashtag elves are people too.
They might speak, but they have no rights as living beings in the North Pole or on cruise ships in international waters.
yep. These are the elves that didn't meet their quotas.
Plus, they have horrible tan lines. You know,
Yeah.
gotta watch that.
Need to get them help. One of my favorite things of this was actually going to the bowling game, so part 1, and just the comedy in that whole bowling thing where they're using the elves as the pins, and Santa's whipping the bowling balls at them, and they get hit and they're laying on the ground and blood's coming out of their heads, and
Yeah,
just it's so over the top.
they're getting decapitated by the pin setter. Sometimes the lead elf runs out of the way so he doesn't get hit. But like that's the whole problem with this as a physical package for the Game Boy Advance is that the game works perfectly as a Flash game because it's like 5 minutes of just ridiculous, over the top, stupid
Yeah.
one-liners. You're only going to play it once. Like it does not work on a game that you buy for your DS or Game Boy and want to sink some time into. It's a one-trick pony.
My absolute goal with this is to find this game, pick it up, and play it on a Game Boy Micro.
You wouldn't be able to see a damn
'Cause
thing.
I know, because the whole game, well, at least the first one is split in half.
Yep.
So you have, the bowling lane on one side and then the elves on the other. So like you only get to see half the screen
Yeah.
on what the actual game of you trying to aim, even if it's not that complicated, but still wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah, it'd probably be more like flea bowling or something at that point. Like you'd have no context as to what you're
Yeah.
throwing at. Yeah, that was a big design flaw too. Yeah, in the first game for sure. Second game's a little better because it's just the shuffleboard, but and can we talk about how god awful that scaling effect was in the shuffleboard game? Like the depth, like that was so
Yeah.
awful. Like I can't imagine animating that any worse than they did.
There was no time put in this game at
No.
all. It was December 23rd, and they're like, we should probably put a game out for Christmas.
Well, and when you
Let's
think
do
about
this
this,
one.
like it hit the DS in 2005, but the Game Boy Advance in 2005 was like already gone. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure they were just like, we can throw this in the shelves. There's 5 other games competing with us right now. we'll sell some Elf. Like, it's gonna happen.
There's no way that any parent that bought that knew what was going on in
Could
that
you
game
imagine?
either.
Give it to like your 4-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Stocking stuffers. That would be hilarious. Kids screaming and crying on Christmas.
Santa's such a bastard.
Or creating, serial killers.
Yeah.
They're like, this is fun. I really like killing these elves. And that really messed them up.
My cat is going apeshit next to me, so if I scream, it's because I've got claws sunk into me. What the hell? And
Is he humping your
he's
leg?
ripping apart my Link plushie, so I don't know. Maybe he's telling us it's time to move on to the verdict. So we'll go back up to the top. Andy, why don't you go ahead and give us your picks for what you'd buy, rent, or burn?
Yeah, I mean, based on game quality and comedy, those are two different things.
Sure.
But I think if we're judging on game quality, it's pretty obvious how this is going to go. My buy is going to be Snow Brothers because I mean, in a lot of ways, it's better than Bubble Bobble even.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you can do that, like, you're a pretty good game. So I think that has to be my buy. Rent is going to be Home Alone. I actually liked roaming around the house trying to find all the different things. It reminded me more of a computer game than a console game. But yeah, I like that part of it. Then it kind of goes off the rails once you collect everything. But then my burn's going to be Elf Bowling and Elf Shuffleboard because
No, it's Elf
are...
Bowling too. Get it right.
Shuffleboard is now called Bowling too.
Well, don't tell Santa that, or he'll send Dingle Kringle after you.
Dingle Kringle at you.
Oh my gosh. You're talking. This might have to get bumped up to a rent if we keep saying that word.
They should have called the game just Dingle Kringle.
Can we just all agree? Our children are all young enough. Can we just all agree to rename him as Dingle Kringle? And our children will just all grow up thinking that Dingle Kringle brings them presents.
Do you want to sit on Dingle Kringle's lap?
What'd you call me? Nothing, sir. Nothing.
Don't worry about it. It's our culture thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nate, how about you?
Yeah, I think this one was very clear. Snow Brothers would be my buy. It's such a good game, and I agree with Andy. I think it's almost better than Bubble Bobble in a lot of sense. But so that would be my buy. Home Alone would be a rent. I do like the exploration as well, and Dingle Kringle. We're burning the Dingle Kringle.
Sounds like a treatment of an STD.
We're gonna go take care of that Dingle Kringle for you.
Penicillin
Don't
ain't
worry,
gonna
buddy.
do. Justin,
We need 50 cc's of the Dingle Kringle.
Justin, how about you?
That's fun. Yeah, it's gonna be the same way here. My buy is gonna be Snow Brothers. I think the game plays extremely well. It's a lot of fun. I do want to play that with 2 players. Try that out. So probably have the kids play that with me sometime coming up here.
It's a good one.
My rent is going to be Home Alone. I didn't really mind this game. I feel like this game gets pretty boring pretty quick. As far as the gameplay in that. So that's going to be my rent. Yeah, Dingle Kringle will be my burn as well. I remember playing this a lot in the Flash games. And that's basically all it was, is just memory. Like, it's not a great game. There's a lot better bowling games and shuffleboard games.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, no surprise. I'm going the same way. Burning Elves. The Super Nintendo version of Home Alone is a pretty decent licensed game. It's, like Justin said, it's kind of boring, but at least it's entertaining for a few minutes. You can explore the house. And then Snow Brothers I'll obviously be buying along with you guys. I think that is like one of the best 2-player games. And it's very similar to one of my favorite games on another one of my favorites on the NES, which obviously Bubble Bobble. So I would buy it. I just wish I could afford it. Yeah. Pretty clear cut on this one.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are looking for another really good Flash bowling game.
Yes,
Cream
please.
Saver.
Yeah.
Cream Savers Bowling.
Was that by David Crane?
The one and only.
Yes. David Crane, our hero, the legend. Well, that was an interesting buy and burn.
Yeah.
Pretty
I feel
easy.
like we would hear a commercial about Dingle Kringle. Like, are you a male 35 and older and facing Dingle Kringle? Call 1-800. Yeah, like I just feel like it's one
This
of
is
those
a class action lawsuit.
commercials.
Call now.
Yeah.
Were you raped by Dingle Kringle or know somebody that was? You might have money owed to you.
It's my money and I want it now.
It's my money and I want it back from this fucking terrible game. All right, fellas, moving on from Buy Rent Burn. I have a very important question to ask all of you. Have you secured, patented, and protected your respective dance moves?
Yes, the hip thrust is patent.
I think that might be public domain.
Nope. I'm collecting royalties every time someone hip thrusts.
Oof. Rolling in the
I'm
dough.
a billionaire.
Well, it's good that you've done that, because now Epic can't steal that and make money on it in Fortnite. So that is the news. This is
Oh gosh.
there's one probably just after we recorded the last episode. A rapper had filed a suit. We now have Carlton, not the human being, but I don't even remember his name.
Alfonso something.
Yeah,
That's all he ever did. So he's Carlton.
Carlton and the
pretty
Fresh
much.
Prince of Bel-Air is now going after him, and then Backpack Kid, who we're all like, who is that? Is that any kid with a backpack? But apparently,
Backpack Kid is going after them too?
I guess.
Yeah.
I
Apparently-
missed that. Oh, interesting.
Apparently, we've come to the point where it's not just, cool to have a popular video game copy your moves. It's illegal now. So we're there.
High school dances are going to be boring. People are just going to stand because they can't afford to dance.
Can't do it.
Well, I hate to tell you, but high school dances were always boring.
Also, yes, yes, that's very accurate.
Yeah. The thing is with this is like it's monetized, right? Like they sell those
Yeah,
dances, right?
they do.
Because like these have been in WoW for forever and other games, right?
Yeah, emotes, different things. And there were dances for sure. I just it's not, to me, it's not a thing that you have the rights to. It's not I don't know. I mean, does someone give the Michael Jackson estate $5 every time somebody grabs your crotch? I don't understand. I mean, it's not a patent. To me, it's not a patentable thing. It's not like you've gone in and choreographed, written down, and video logged your dance routine so that you now own the copyright to it.
It's so stupid. It is incredibly stupid. When is enough enough? Like with these lawsuits for these stupid things, just take it as that's pretty cool that a video game is doing something that I created,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of having to get your money all the time. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, this is the most relevant that Alfonso's been since The Fresh Prince, so he should be happy.
That's probably why he needs the money.
Honestly, that's probably why he's suing at all, is like get his name back out there. Like he probably has no intention of actually winning or anything. He'll settle out of court for like a 12-inch footlong from Subway.
I'm glad you said
Subway.
from Subway. I'm glad you finished that.
Yeah. Where did you think I was going? Come on.
Well,
yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, like, how do you patent a movement of somebody's body, really? I mean, I guess songs and stuff are somewhat from your body, but that's a different thing altogether.
Right.
but let's go back to when they were doing the dances of the mashed potato and the twist and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when they did that song, do the mashed potato, do the twist, you couldn't do it because someone would be suing you. It's just so stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing, like, how can you do it when you don't even own your own name? Like, that guy doesn't own the name Carlton.
Right. And he certainly doesn't own the Carlton dance. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most absurd piece of it altogether. It was a dance he did on a television show as a fictional character. It's like,
if anybody, it should be TBS going after them or whatever network it was airing on, and then who gets the money?
Yeah, Will Smith. Yeah,
he's been collecting for years.
He needs to keep paying those psychiatry bills for Jaden Smith. So.
Jeez. Congratulations to Will Smith for being on the host of the worst YouTube video of all time, right?
What was that for?
The YouTube Rewind? He was like at the beginning
I didn't know this. I knew he was doing YouTube stuff, but
he's the most has the most thumbs down of any video now.
Really? What did he do?
It's not so much him, but most of the video is Fortnite dances, so surprise.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I mean, after the whole...
Maybe these guys should be suing YouTube now, too.
Well, what else happened in the news?
Just a brand new launch of a new system.
Oh, that's right.
Is this the hottest thing that's going to compete with the PS4? That thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's above that because it's newer.
Well, there's also it's a handheld along with the system. Also,
tell me who creates this thing.
You know, Soulja Boy?
Nope.
Do I know Soulja Boy?
You crank that? You crank that?
Crank that. Soulja Boy. Superman.
Is he actually an artist on the radio? Because I had no idea who this guy was until this news broke. Okay.
He was. Is he still?
He has that one song.
Well, not now. He's in the game console business, right?
Well, that's because he's making it cool.
He's a business mogul now. He grinded for that dough, and now it's time to put that money to action.
Yes.
I would love to meet his advisor on this.
Oh, gosh.
So basically the deal, though, is like he is buying like knockoff, like import, like direct through like Asian distributor trash consoles full of ROMs that have not been licensed. And he's slapping Soulja Boy on them and selling them on his website, and that's his console, I guess, huh?
For like
Does
double
he call
the
it
price.
the Soulja Bowl? Soulja, whatever it is?
No, it's like the
Soulja Box.
Soulja Bowl. It was like a Murloc was trying to sell me this thing.
Just getting that possession out of me. Is that what it's called?
I mean, we can look on his site. I don't know if he's got it branded that way.
I saw that it was on Twitter, and people are really running with this right now with like they're slapping his logo on like all these different things I've been seeing, but there was like a Pro controller that he came out with that looks very similar to the Xbox controller. I don't know if that's really a thing, but I just can imagine it's the cheapest plastic ever. And I think we talked about this before. There was one of the consoles that came, someone decided to break it open to see what was in it, and it literally was just like a Raspberry Pi in this big plastic box with nothing else in it, like just a Raspberry Pi. It's pathetic.
Oh, yeah, he does put his name on all of these. So we've got for on sale for $399.99. You can get the Soulja Boy Fuse, which is the home console. For $133.98, you can get the Retro Soulja Boy Mini with a free micro SD card. And then they've got one just called for $159.98, Soulja Boy Handheld. Like, it's the worst name ever. Oh, and then he's got Soulja Game.
$399?
Soulja Game console, $211.98. Yeah, his premier cutting edge one is $399.99. And I know you're saying, but that's crazy. That's an insane price. But he's giving you a sweet deal because it was originally $639.98.
A number that was not completely made up.
Nope.
This is insane.
But you can get wireless knockoff earbuds for your iPhones for $658. I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
Well,
I think it's hilarious that like he goes right after like PS4, Xbox at the $399 price range. It wasn't like maybe $79.99. I'll give it a go. No, we're going right after the big dogs, and oh my gosh, pathetic.
And then he's
opening
a store in California.
He's got like the section underneath
a store.
Yeah,
this thing underneath the Fuse. It's got there's like a description page. It's like global 200 plus content partners. So he's literally like advertising like Ubisoft, Deep Silver, like 505. Like he's listing these all like they actually have something to do with this to make it seem like it's legit, which really, this one must be just...
There's going to be so many lawsuits.
Yeah, this
here.
is just
so many.
This has to just be an Android box. Like, it's probably full of ROMs, but then there must be an Android store in it, so you can buy some of these games, but... Yeah, I mean, Nintendo just sued a ROM site successfully for $12 million. Do you really want to be all over the internet right now selling stuff with their games on it that aren't licensed? And slapping your name to everything you put it on. The headphones are called Soulja Pods too, in case anyone was wondering.
Well, let's get Apple in on that then.
The initial concept for that was Tide Pods with his name on them, but after the whole Tide Pod challenge, he kind of steered clear.
Yeah.
Went back to headphones.
So what do you think the Chinese knockoff will be called of this console?
The one that was made first. Whatever that was.
The Soulja 1? I don't know.
Oh, it's so bad.
This is not good. Not
apparently
good for gaming.
Apparently he retweeted something that shows Super Smash Brothers playing on the handheld.
Oh my gosh. He's gonna get a lawsuit.
He's gonna get lit up real bad. What I would like to do as a video idea is go into like Walmart or Target as a parent looking for the latest console and being like, yeah, I'm looking for the Soulja Boy. What? What are you talking about? There's a PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. No, the Soulja Boy. I need that.
I think somebody, I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail. I'm pretty sure somebody did a video where they went into GameStop and tried to sell the Soulja Boy console, trade it in to like get a new release.
Yes.
I'm sure it's great.
I'd like trade credit on this, please.
Sir, we can't help you.
I mean, we're laughing at it, but it's more useful than the PlayStation Classic at this point.
That is true. That is true. Just breaking news, I guess, within the day we're recording here. It is, what are we, December 18th, we're recording this, our holiday episode. They just officially discounted the price on the PlayStation Classic already to $75 on Amazon. And the PlayStation Classic has been a horrendous train wreck, but was miraculously hacked Through the simple use of a thumb drive hack, they're up to now within 4 days. Like 4 days, the thing was blown wide open because apparently Sony left the diagnostics just intact, so anyone with a Logitech keyboard can just hit escape enough times to access it. So,
Wow.
but yeah, I was amazed the turnaround time on that. I think I saw my first video the Monday after launch. I think it came out on a Friday, or no, it came out on I don't know, maybe it was a Tuesday, but yeah, it was just somebody plugged in a thumb drive full of ROMs, rebooted it, done deal. So it's actually maybe not completely useless now.
I'm
That's the way
still
it should've
holding
been.
off until 1999.
Yeah. $30 and
Then I'm gonna pick it
under.
up.
I'll grab one. I'll grab two. I'll light one on fire, and then the other one will just sit in a box somewhere because I'm not going to use it. Yeah, walking through the aisles of every major department store, like Best Buy, just was sitting on a mountain of these. I don't know who's buying. Nobody's buying them.
No. Just that there's just like half the nostalgia already for the Nintendo stuff, you know?
Right. Well, and, like, I've been watching a lot of reviews, and people are like, Cool Borders 2, pff, what a piece of shit game. And, like, I love Cool Borders 2. And, like, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'd play some Cool Borders 2 on there. And then it turns out it's, like, the PAL version and, like, so full of latency that it's completely broken. And I'm like, well, that was the one game that I might have, like... I mean, there are other games on there, too, obviously, but it's just so bad.
But how many of those games would you play? I mean, how many games would you play longer than what you played Snow Brothers, you know?
Right. Yeah, really the
Not
only
many.
thing I could sit down and know that I would sink time into is Metal Gear. I mean, I would go through that. So I'd get my, 6 hours of entertainment from Metal Gear Solid. And I'm probably done. Except at that point, like they said, the emulation's so shoddy and the resolution's so bad. I mean, why would I not just pop Metal Gear into my PS3 and play it that way? It'll look better, up-resed, so...
Yep.
Poor Sony.
They did it to themselves.
Yeah,
And no sympathy.
they did.
No, that was lazy.
It was
Yep.
beyond lazy. At least, like, with Nintendo's questionable, like, value proposition on, like, what they were selling those for, they did it right. Like, they got the emulation running well. They added, like, just the simple save state options and stuff were all done right. The controller was right. The game list was not the best, I think, on the NES Classic, but they did a better job of nailing it on the SNES Mini Classic. And Sony just, like, right from the price point to, like, the design isn't even that great, and then just completely blowing it on your game selection. It's no surprise that this has just kind of become a dumpster fire overnight. And yet nobody's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, you know how everyone will crap on Nintendo if they had, like, a bad run? Like, where are all the articles on, like, yeah, Sony's announced that they've sold 5 PlayStation Classics and their stocks dropped, like, 7 points, you know? Because it's got to be happening. I don't know who's...
Oh, yeah.
But I would just love to know the actual number of canceled pre-orders, because I suspect that this is the most canceled
Huge.
pre-ordered item ever for a video game.
Mhm.
Yes. I bet you that number is huge.
Staggering. I like the way you say that, Nate.
Huge. I'm used to hearing that.
Yeah. Crickets.
That sounds about right. That's what I'm used to hearing.
I speak cricket. They say it's huge.
I hadn't even looked at the game list for the classic, but yeah, there's probably only 3 games that I would care to go back and even play, but
Yeah, they, like,
Which 3
completely
ones?
missed.
Twisted Metal and Destruction Derby and Cool Borders 2, but
Right.
Metal
But
Gear
even
Solid,
there, like,
I suppose 4 games.
even there, like, their choices are weird, because Twisted Metal 2 is obviously better than Twisted Metal
Yeah,
1, and Destruction
by far.
Derby 2
Yeah.
is better than
Yeah,
Destruction Derby 1. So, yeah. Like, but I mean, they miss obvious stuff. Like we said before, like there's no Jet Moto, there's no Tomb Raider, there's no Crash, there's no, the list goes on and on. It's stupid.
A Crash would be kind of, because they redid it for the PS4,
right.
so I can see why they
Same
wouldn't.
with Spyro.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see why that wasn't on there, but
There's
I'm not even a PlayStation guy, and I know there's better games in the library, and so
yeah. It's a real bummer. Like for anyone who grew up being a really big fan of the PlayStation, you just look at that and you're like, they did that legacy wrong. I mean, at the point that they did that, they would have been better off doing like a Sega Classics collection type thing for the PS4, where it was just, either a download only or a disc with like, because then they could have included, they didn't do anything from what I've seen to include any backstory, history. Like that's the fun part of some of those things. And just making it smaller and throwing shitty PAL games that don't run worth shit on there is not sufficient. It's as lazy.
I don't think I've ever heard one positive thing about it
I
at
haven't
all.
either. It's the laziest attempt at anything like that since the port of Super Mario All-Stars to the Wii. That was literally just a ROM dump onto a 2 gigabyte CD that had to be 99.99999% empty because they included nothing else on it. But it was only $30.
You got an art book with it.
Yeah, you got cardboard with it. I I just lambasted Nintendo because I was like Club Nintendo, and you like review, and I was just like, I wrote like a scathing as much text as it would let me, but like this is your character, he's your mascot, like this is lazy bullshit. I'm like, you didn't even remap the SNES controllers within the menus of the ROM, like what the hell? And then they shut.
I bet that guy took it seriously.
Well, they shut down Club
That.
Nintendo. That's the only thing I can figure is my.
They didn't want to listen to it.
They're like,
anymore.
this guy's a dick. Let's close it down.
it's actually still up. You're just blocked.
Probably.
Well, when you kind of like buy and sell games, that was the heyday of getting all those Club Nintendo points, and you do those surveys and be like, "Oh, here's Endless Ocean. What do you think about the game?" Oh, it was fun. Never played it.
I literally wrote in one of the for Wii Music. They were like, "Why did you buy the game?" I'm like, it was literally $1 at a pawn shop. So I'm sure I didn't help with keeping that alive. So yeah, I used to do that too. Like you just cash in. I mean, I must have like redeemed because you'd get like reduced points for multiple copies of the same thing, right? Like you could register it, but you wouldn't keep getting the full.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think you could get points after the first one.
Okay,
I don't remember.
yeah,
Maybe not.
I don't know. It was a weird system. I liked it a lot better than the convoluted one they have now, but
Yeah.
whatever. It was free, so I guess I shouldn't complain. So what else is happening out there? You guys, anybody about Smash? Anybody?
I did.
Did you bought it? What do you think?
Yep. It's pretty good. Played a lot of it yesterday. So probably about halfway unlocked of everybody.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was my birthday last weekend. So no, not last weekend, the weekend before. Yeah, I'm getting old. I can't remember. So my parents got it, or no, gosh, my parents. I'm falling off the rails. I got another year older, and I'm losing my marbles. My kids and wife got it for me, not my parents. So basically, they gave that to me on my birthday on Sunday, and we just, I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, I just want to play Smash Brothers. I'm like, gonna have a couple beers, and we just sat down. I think I got everybody in the game room like 10 in the morning, put the game in. I don't think we stopped playing. I didn't start drinking at 10 in the morning. I'm going to say that right now. And we didn't stop playing until about 5 o'clock. And it was just stock battle after stock battle. All 4 of us. It was awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Then we took a break and ate some food, but it was a awesome day. We unlocked most of the characters. My kids actually, it's nice because we leave the random elements on, so like everybody has a chance to win. And then Jill
Mhm.
always tries to kill me and get the kids to gang up on me because I have the most lives. So usually it's like Jill and I battling it out. We'll kill each other, and then one of the kids will have a life left to win. But yeah, my kids did pretty good. They actually beat and unlocked some of the characters. So
Oh,
yeah, I think we put the game back in for a little bit on that Monday, and within the first like 2 matches on Monday, it said like congratulations, milestone 100 matches. So we played damn near 100 matches on Sunday together, and it's
That's
Wow.
impressive.
a great game. It's like it feels as much like Melee as any of them have, and Melee's always been my favorite, just from like not so much that it's an amazing game, it's just an amazing history collection of all things Nintendo and gaming, and there's a lot of cool nods in there, and this game does as good a job with that as Melee for the most part. So yeah, there's a lot to do for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the single player is a lot of fun too. Getting all like the different, I don't know, spirits they call them.
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting. Getting all those from different games, and it's like, wow, this is a deep cut.
I don't like that art style though from the map. It's like a little weird. It's like kind of like living watercolory kind of. I don't know. There's some.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It just feels really out of place for some reason to me. But it's just a map, I guess. So who cares?
I'm still holding out. I was told not to get it. So
I think I need your
I
guys.
guess Dingle Kringle's gonna bring it for
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to get your friend code, Andy, and we can all play some horribly laggy multiplayer at some point.
Can I pay money for that?
Oh yeah, you have to, don't you?
Yeah.
You should. There's like 30 games that you'll never play now in the NES collection, so
Oh.
That's the only
Perfect.
way you can play multiplayer is doing
you
that.
have to pay $9.99 for the
Yeah.
online. You didn't realize that until now?
No.
Only Fortnite's
well,
free.
I mean, I played like Splatoon and that kind of stuff, like the online playing that
Yeah.
way.
It-
Which didn't cost anything.
It will now.
Yeah, I think it does
Yeah,
now.
you can't go online. Sorry,
That's how often I've been playing my Switch.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I got an email that my online Club Nintendo order for my NES controllers are coming. I'm getting those
yeah.
bad boys tomorrow.
Classic Joy-Cons heading to the shelf.
I was just gonna say I have no intention of pulling them out, because if they only ever release them through the online store and you can only get them if you have a registered account, there's no way I'm opening them up. So I'll sell them
Yeah.
on eBay for way too much money in a few years. Because I'll be honest, I've played like a good 45 minutes of those online NES games. Like, there's no reason for me to do that.
Next time I'm over, I might jack them. So
Still talking about my controllers, or
hey,
Ew.
how you doing?
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a pretty amazing Smash game. It's sucked me in more than any other one has since Melee, for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Eh.
It's definitely ultimate too.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if they can make another one after this.
It's almost too much. Like, it's just
Like, yeah.
like once you start really unlocking characters and those like squares just keep getting smaller and smaller across the screen. I was like doing the math. I'm like counting rows and over. I'm like, okay, that's how many characters I've got now. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And
Yeah, I'm excited to play it.
yeah. Well, and you got Ultimate. You just picked up Ultimate recently, right? So like you've just kind of gotten into, or not Ultimate, but Smash Brothers, Wii U.
Wii U, yeah. Yeah, I just recently picked that up with my Wii U, and it's funny because I put a video out like 2 weeks prior to that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really getting a Wii U. I'm not interested in one. And then I got one. So, but I got a good deal on it and a handful of games, and that's definitely the first one that I put in was Smash Brothers, and it's really good. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, an addicting game. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing the new one at some point, just to see what kind of differences there are.
Yeah. Subtle. I'd say there's just a whole lot more,
Yeah,
But I
Yeah.
mean,
It's ultimate.
gameplay, yeah, it's pretty close. And they said it officially is the fastest selling Nintendo first party title of all time, minus some of the Pokemon stuff. And it is
Wow.
so it's the best selling Smash Brothers game, and then to have that other nod too is crazy. Something like 3 million
Yeah,
units in
wow.
the US alone. So
Jeez.
Smash Brothers kind of went from this like I think we've kind of even talked about it on the podcast where it's like, yeah, it's a good game, but it's like a secondary. But it's like, no, this is officially like their top
Amazing.
selling now. Like it's, I mean, with those numbers, it's already up to like Breath of the Wild, the Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, which is nuts.
Jeez.
And Justin's like, what's a Smash?
Yeah, I haven't played any Smash games.
Isn't your brother super into Smash games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have a Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he bought Smash.
Nice. I think we're gonna all have to bring our Switches to MGC this year and just have a good time.
Smash it out.
Smash it out. But this time with our Switches. Yeah.
I've actually been playing Super Mario World Wii.
Oh, the
on
3D
the
one?
Wii U. No. Oh yeah, I suppose it would
With
be
the cat
yeah.
suits, right?
Or the red copy.
It's a red copy.
Oh,
the
okay.
2D
Yeah.
one.
The side
Yeah,
scroller.
It's
Yep.
yeah, it's like
That one's
top
good.
down. We have the other one too, but
Yeah.
no, I've been playing this one with the kids quite a bit.
It's fun. Do you pick them up and throw them into lava just for shits and giggles?
No,
Oh.
they bump me off the edges, and
Yeah.
then while I'm dead, they bubble, and then yeah.
Usually what happens when I play with my kids is like I get on Yoshi and I eat one of them and run across the stage because it's like this is just so much easier if you're not sabotaging me.
I usually tell them like in the most difficult parts, I'm like, just go in the bubble, and then
Yep.
once
Yeah.
I get past this,
Well-
then I'll pop you
It's
out.
bubble time.
Yeah, bubble time.
Those are really good games though, and they're really good games to play with your family. It's a lot
That's
of
pretty fun. Like they haven't really played a whole lot of games like that. Like I'll bring them down here and try to play some, but they get super bored quick of pretty much any game. And this one has by far kept their interest the most. And like they'll play just the two of them. And they actually beat a couple levels and get super excited. Pretty funny.
Now you gotta get a Switch, man, because there's lots of great games coming out for that your kids would love. I think they're the sequel to that one for the Wii U is getting brought over to the Switch, so I'm sure your kids would like that.
I think that's the one that we have installed on
Oh, okay,
on
gotcha.
the Wii. But I haven't really done much with the games that were on the actual Wii U because it's on whoever's profile.
Right,
Oh yeah.
bonus profile games.
Yep.
I kind of had an amazing thing happen to me with my kids and like gaming. So my son loves the Wii U. Like he'll run down and like grab the tablet for the Wii U and like start playing a game before pretty much as soon as he can kick his shoes off, he's gone down the basement. And he's been getting up earlier because we got a new addition to the family in the form of a cat that likes to wake my son up at like 4 a.m. So what he's been doing is he's been getting up and like gaming. And like last week I go downstairs and he's and like I just get him out of the basement. I'm like, dude, we gotta get ready, you gotta go. Well, and here I found out that Jill, my wife, had put in Mario Color Splash for him, which is like in the Mario RPG family. And he's like talking to me about this game while I'm going to work, and we get home, and then he's like, help me with this part. I'm like, I'm like, buddy, that game was shrink wrapped. I hadn't played it yet. Like, I don't know if I can help you. And so we get down there and he's showing me which part he wants help with. And then he's explaining in explicit detail, completely accurately, the battle system to this turn-based RPG. And he's like, no, you do this thing, you pick one and you slide that there, you color this in. And then he's like, and then when you get there, you press the button, you gotta time it. And I was like, okay, like maybe Jill explained this to him. So I asked my wife, I'm like, did you? Because he's 4. He's 5 now. He just turned 5, I guess. Sorry. So he can't read. And like nobody explained this to him. And like Nintendo tutorials are all text. I mean, there's no dialogue. So I asked my wife. My wife didn't tell him anything. He completely figured out a turn-based battle. I mean, a simplistic one, but a battle system for an RPG by sheer like trial and error. I was blown away.
Proud dad moment. That's
He'd
awesome.
beaten 3 levels before he had me come down and look at it. I was like, "What is
That's great.
wrong with you?" So yeah, and he's still been playing it. I've barely done anything to help him. So
My son has been playing the Wii U crazy. To him, it's a very an attractive console where he can just grab, sit down.
Mhm.
And I actually feel really good with him playing that rather than like snagging my Switch. The Wii U just doesn't really bug me. And the way our house is set up, he was able to take it all the way upstairs and still play it without. So it had that good of a range on it, which was pretty impressive.
That's amazing because I walk like 5 feet from mine and nothing. Like I can't even sit at the top of the stairs. But I think maybe it's more the plaster and lath in my house. So.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if he's in the living room on the main floor, he's right
10
above
feet.
the console.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, I mean, you have a ceiling in between and everything. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good kid system. Like I keep mine connected all the time too, just because of that.
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to pick up a backup pretty soon just because I have a feeling at some point mine will not work just because of the amount of time they spend playing it. And then my son always like just throws the gamepad on the couch or something. Like somebody's going to jump on it at some point or I'm going to sit on it and be pissed, but oh well.
They're coming down in prices.
Yeah.
Big
they
time.
were starting to see them at like the $100 level, which I didn't think they would ever get to. I think that's probably as low as they're going to get. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, you get good deals. You and Nate both got good deals, but that's almost unheard of. Like in a reseller shop or something like that. I mean, nobody would,
Right.
especially with the
Yeah.
games both of you got.
We're seeing them at thrift stores now, a little more on the regulars. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
who knows? But even though the thrift stores, they're still, $100 there. So
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of games we've been playing, so Justin and I this last weekend dusted off A Way Out, which we streamed. I think the streams are still up on Weekend Rental on our YouTube channel a while ago. So for anyone who's not familiar, basically that game is a game where it's a single perspective, but with 2 characters. So you play it co-op simultaneously, 2 characters on the screen at the same time. You're controlling and helping each other through this entire sort of cinematic story. And we had played through it once when it first came out. I think the first weekend, we just 4 hours, 5 hours just blasted through it. And we've been talking this entire year about how we wanted to go back and flip it over and because at certain points in the story, you're given the option to do thing A or thing B. So we're like, well, let's go back through and do the opposite of everything we did the first time through, thinking it was going to have consequence. And the reality is that you just sort of hit these points in the story that sort of horseshoe around a section, but they come back to the same single track. So while you did something different for 5 minutes in the game, you end up in the exact same place in the exact same story. And we gave it about 2 hours. Wasn't it, Justin?
yeah, it was about 2 hours. We went through and got, 2 of the choice sections that we went and changed?
I
It
think
was
so.
the bridge and that house.
And the farmhouse, yeah. Yeah, we took down those old sons of bitches this time. We didn't pussyfoot around.
And then we just kind of this is dumb. Let's just
Right.
go to the end and redo the ending and see what happens. And it's literally the same ending.
With a little bit more story
Just
for the
reverse.
other character tacked on that kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was
No.
it was so disappointing because I felt like that was kind of one of the big values to that game is because I look at something like Brothers, the same guy made Brothers, there's a lot of replayability in there. And I was thinking, well, this is 2 games kind of because you get the first path and then you get path B and it isn't that, which sucks. Because there's a lot of really cool things about that game, but this is something they should have executed better.
The idea behind the game is awesome, and like the first playthrough was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
You got the shitty driving controls and stuff at the end, but you can look past that. The overall game, like, it was great, and then the replay, it just,
Yeah.
like, I hate that game.
Yeah, it kind of really diminishes like your overall experience. Like I agree, I like it a lot less now than I did. Going back and doing that, it sucks. And I was already pissed off the first time through because I lost. So,
I think it's set up where you have to lose. Like,
well, somebody has to lose, and I did. So,
no, like, your character, like, I'm pretty sure that character has a huge disadvantage in that.
yeah, that could be.
But either way.
At least we got to see those naked side penis and butt shots again at the beginning.
Yep.
So, that made up for it.
Good times.
The lighting effects in those cheeks were just top notch.
At least we got back to the point where we know why you went back to that game.
I almost streamed it privately for Nate again so he could jump back in.
I still can't believe that was the first, like, right when I clicked on it, naked guys. And I'm like, what is going on? What are you guys playing?
What kind of a stream is
and I think this is when we were first getting to know each
Yeah.
other. And so I'm like, what the heck is, like, what are you guys doing? Just naked dudes on the PS4.
Gloriously detailed naked dudes.
Yeah, that was the camera, but what was the game?
I don't recall. Just remember what's on the camera.
Did I mention my PlayStation profile's been banned? That's weird. I don't know.
Okay, since it is the end of the year, and it's that time upon, reflecting what you've done over this year, we're gonna make some really dumb awards. How's that sound?
I think they're quality awards.
great.
Way to put us down. Come on.
I don't.
really drag the show down to a lower quality.
Did any of the candidates show up?
My basement's full. I don't know. But you guys.
No.
Oh, wait, those are just the corpses from last year.
Yeah, so last year we did kind of like a more formal, like, awards or whatever, but this, I think we just play a little bit more loose. What do you guys think about that?
I agree, and I think last year was a little bit different in the fact that for some reason all of us, while still busy, actually had time to play a lot more games. And I feel like this last 2018 kind of came and went, and I can honestly say that as a gamer, I played the least amount of games I'd played in a very long time, which is just, the reality of it. So,
At least new games. Like,
right.
Yeah, this summer I played hardly anything.
Yeah. I played very few new releases.
Yeah, so I mean, when we have 4 guys and none of us even played God of War, where that is getting a lot of praise, it's like, it's tough to say like what our game of the year is, like we can't judge that, I don't think.
Right.
So I think we just pick our favorites, a few things that we liked this year.
I concur.
I think we should go right into the Byron Burn games, though, because we had a pretty interesting year, I think, for some really good games and some very bad games.
Yeah.
And some hotly contested games, too, I think.
Yes.
A couple. Cock angels.
It brought some division in the group a little bit.
Some of us take it harder than others.
Yes.
And more bitter about it, yes.
Some people are going to counseling for it right now.
Some people hold grudges.
Any game Ryan picks is garbage.
That's right. We got Justin back, so we're back to the Justin rules. The scale is Ryan or not Ryan. That is all there is.
Yeah. His games could only be rent at the most.
God damn it, I like this game, but Ryan brought it.
Knock it down a peg.
Reviewers tilt. So we have a list of what we thought were probably some of the best games that we played this year.
Which I think we kind of crafted from memory, right? Like, because we deleted our
back a
show
little
running
bit.
list, and like I think we lost some of it.
You can go back and like go through the revision history, so I found that. So I found a few of them,
Nice.
but the beginning of the year, it kind of turned into a shit show where we were just picking random games, and a lot of them didn't turn out to be very good.
They were so bad, Justin had to leave the podcast full time.
But some of them were pretty good. So the list that we have here, Snow Brothers, which we just did, certainly qualifies, I think.
Mm-hmm.
X vs. Sever for the Game Boy Advance, which was a first-person shooter, like a Doom clone.
Great one.
Maui Mallard, which the majority of this podcast did not buy, so I don't know.
I added
that
it
one's
because
on
it's
there,
fantastic.
Again, here's the division. We can't even agree on what were good games.
We've got Kabuki Quantum Fighters, good NES
Also
game.
a Ryan pick.
I didn't put it on the list though, so
No, it is good.
That's a good one. Military Madness for TurboGrafx, which is Fire Emblem clone, Advance Wars. YY World for our Famicom episode. And Power Pigs for Super Nintendo. So, each of you, what was your favorite out of those?
boy, I don't know. This is tough. I think there's three to me that I would go with that stuck with me. I think X vs. Sever. But I spent the least amount of time with that. It was the most technically impressive and the most fun, like for the hardware it was on. But I know the games that I appreciate the most and actually play a lot would be Snow Brothers and Military Madness. And I honestly think I'd have to give the nod. I love both those systems, TurboGrafx and the NES, but I think just because I'm constantly playing it with my son, or at least regularly playing with it, I would have to say Snow Brothers would probably be my buy.
Yeah.
Latecomer. Or not buy, but my
For me,
pick.
yeah. For me, it's got to be Power Pigs. That was... I probably won't say it's the best game on here, but it was the most surprising game to me. And I actually had a lot of fun with it. I don't know why.
When was that one on here? Or when did...
Could have been a
That was
Was that
right
after?
time, right?
yeah, it
Was
was
it?
after you had
Okay.
taken
I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of these. So.
A couple months ago, I think. I think the one that Power Pigs definitely stood out as a game that was very surprising, not what I expected, and that was really fun. But I love Kabuki Quantum Fighter. I love that game. I think it's a great game. The soundtrack is so catchy. I'm a sucker for platformers anyways. And so that definitely tops the list for me.
Yeah, if there's anything on here that we missed, Justin, that you remember from this year,
Yeah, I looked at
throw in a
the
wild card for sure.
list, and that's like pretty much the only thing that I could think of was already on there for Military Madness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a good game.
All the other ones were pretty much just all right.
Yeah, they were just okay.
Yeah.
That was the
Um,
only one I could pull out there and be like, yeah, that was good.
And yeah, so out of this list, the only two that I've played was Snow Brothers and Military Madness. And by far, Snow Brothers would be. in my opinion, the best one that I played.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very good.
it's a great game.
I had no idea what that game even was until I played it just the other weekend. The show.
Yeah, it's funny. I think if it was one of those games that had released 2 years earlier in the life cycle and sold more copies, it would have been, we'd be talking about it in the same, breath as Bubble Bobble.
We'd be buying it for $20.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing too. Like, Andy had mentioned it's an arcade cabinet. Like, I'm sure people had the Bubble Bobble arcade. And, like, we don't need this one,
right?
if it even came over here. Like, I don't know, but it'd be awesome if you could find it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we can argue against Snow Brothers. I think probably the most well-made game out of all that is probably that, just because it is Bubble Bobble.
Yeah.
So we can move on to the worst ones that we've played. Sometimes that's even a better discussion because... Oh, wow, we play some bad ones.
Play
A lot of bad ones.
A lot of bad ones.
I don't know how it happens. We actually choose these games. They're not just like thrust upon us, but we still choose
Money
these
for-
games and play them.
Well, and for anyone who's listening, like, we don't have a whole lot of rhyme or reason behind like why we pick certain games, but we've always kind of just gone with the unspoken rule of it's not something well known as a quality title. Like, it's not Mario's, it's not the heavy hitters, because those are kind of like a gimme, right? Like, for us, it's fun to try something that maybe some of us haven't played, and then occasionally, I think maybe twice this whole year, we found a hidden gem or two, maybe 3 times. So out of a shitload of games, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, and most of them aren't bad. Most of them are, kind of that middle ground. But some of them are awful.
There's a lot of broken ones.
Yeah.
When we hit vanilla, we've done well. I mean, vanilla is like the gold standard for us most of the time.
Yeah, pretty much. So the list we got here is Swamp Thing for NES.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty bad one. Mohawk and Headphone Jack
Mm-hmm.
for Super Nintendo. We have Gunboat for TurboGrafx.
Justin's
And we
failed
have we have Bratz Rock Angels.
I believe that subtext says cock anals, but
These are children that are, they wouldn't say something like that in that children's game. I know, because I played it all.
You played the whole thing.
Yes.
And Bratz I threw on.
And
Bratz I just added on there. It wasn't initially on the list, because I will say we can pretty much disqualify Bratz because, well, not good. It was a functioning game that I would never choose to play, but one
of us rented it, so
yes. Let's not
I
get back
forced
into
you.
that subject, please. My blood's starting to boil.
This is where he gets really sore here.
Dingle Kringle's about to go vape shit on you guys' asses. I tell you what. So really, we're down to Swamp Thing, Mohawk, Headphone Jack, and Gunboat.
oh man,
I think this is kind of clear for me. I like Swamp Thing. That was an awful, awful game. Just very broken, very frustrating game. I mean, Mohawk and Headphone Jack is a very close second, but that game was semi-playable, and very interesting. Yes, you're gonna throw up when you play the game. That's a gimme. Actually, when you bought the box copy, a little brown bag came with it that you could just
You just
pull
use the
out
box.
and barf. You just use the box, exactly. So I would say if I had to put those two side by side, Swamp Thing is definitely probably the worst game out of those two. I never played Gunboat, so
Gunboat's not on that level, I don't think.
yeah.
Gunboat is just like a computer simulation game that they tried to put on a console with 2 buttons.
And it's just real boring. And like the remember the whole like select run? Remember, like, it took us like 5 minutes to get through the menus even to play the game.
menu.
Like, that was like the biggest atrocity. But yeah, I mean, to me, here's the thing: is like I think Swamp Thing is a shitty game, but like visually, it fits together. It has awful mechanics that make it a crapshoot, but it has a cohesive design. And Mohawk and Headphone Jack is literally pixel vomit set to ear-piercing music, and it's vomit-inducing to the point of I literally dry heaved playing this game. Like, it is such a god.
That's not exaggeration. That is
No,
not an
I did
exaggeration.
dry heave. It's the sickest I've ever been playing any game. It is a goddamn abomination. I cannot. As much as I hate Swamp Thing, I have to go worst. It might be the worst game I've ever played. Not.
I still think they need to put that game as a VR, PSVR, and see what happens.
So yeah, I'm going with Mohawk and Headphone Jack. I cannot get over how oh, my cat's going nuts over here. It was so bad, so bad.
Yeah, if a game makes you sick, that's pretty much
That's kind of it. Physically ill.
kind of wins.
I don't know. I played a lot of games that made me sick. Anyways. Yeah, I played Gunboat, and then you guys had done Mohawk and Headphone Jack, and Ryan sent me a message telling me I had to play it. So I went and played it. Honestly, I didn't really get sick from it. It took a long time before I started feeling like I was going to be nauseous. It's a bad game. But I'm going to go with Gunboat actually as my worst
Really? Okay.
game.
Wow.
Just because that doesn't work on a system, on a console. Like,
Yeah, they shouldn't even made it
No.
for that thing.
Right. 2 buttons is not enough inputs for
Like
a tactical game.
when it takes you 5 minutes to get the menu system to advance, it's a bad start.
Yeah.
I also want to correct. I did actually play for the best buy rent burn. I did play that YY World too.
That's a cool game.
That's the kind of like Mario, was it?
Yeah, it was a platformer.
Yeah.
Ish.
Then he kind of turns into a shooter and does some other stuff too. But yeah, it's mostly the Mario style first.
Yeah. I don't really remember it, but I did play that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Swamp Thing takes it, I think, on that one.
I don't know. I think it's a 3-way tie. They
Yeah,
all
you
suck.
lose all the way around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Participation ribbons for all three.
Our next category is it is one for Nate. This is the best thing to hit with your horse in Red Dead.
Just everything. Just don't let me drive the horse. Oh, gosh.
We have tree, rock, or train.
I love this. Tree. There were so many trees.
Yeah.
I was having a real hard time driving that horse.
You know, those
Poor
trees,
horse.
they just jump out of nowhere. That's the problem with trees. They're so unpredictable.
Yeah, you know those fail videos on YouTube of like these horse fails on Red Dead? It's pretty much all of mine, for sure. I cannot... Anything high speed I couldn't handle, so... Yeah, trees definitely are the
I definitely have to go with
best
trees
thing to
too.
run into.
Just like getting clotheslined by a tree.
Or going straight into the tree.
Yeah.
Not just clothesline, straight into the tree.
Big trees, too. Large trees.
And small ones.
The horse flips over.
Yep. It's not good.
So tree takes.
I think so.
Trees a win.
I've always had trouble with the railings on the buildings. And they won't stop,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just tumble over.
Flip over them.
Right over.
We're here.
I've done that a few times.
Next one's for Ryan. It's the best cheap game to buy on PSN while drinking.
And the answer is there is no answer. This is a trick question because I bought them when I was drinking, so I don't know which ones are the best.
You don't
I don't
know.
know which ones I got. So
You just know you've spent a lot of money.
the only one I can clearly remember because it piqued my interest was like, when did I buy I Am Bread? So I guess we're gonna go I Am Bread.
I Am Bread.
I haven't played it, but I think I paid something like $1.50 for it. So this is the problem with having your credit card on file on your profile.
Yeah, well, once I get down to that, you have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, I bought a game for 99 cents on the Steam sale that we all have to check out sometime.
What's that called?
Garfield Cards.
Oh God.
Yes.
Right,
It's already on the top of the list.
right
now.
before we started recording, I went out to the Switch eShop, and I went under the game deals, and they had a game that was literally marked down to 1 cent, called like, I don't know, it's like Bouncing Bobby or I don't know, but you can like every time you like cash in points, you redeem like the gold points. So like I redeemed like one fictional currency that I have to like buy this game, but I can honestly say I've never seen a game marked down to 1 cent before. So I own it.
It's probably
Congratulations.
It's probably a top seller above Smash Brothers at this
Yeah.
point too.
Yeah, probably. But that was a first.
I guess I'll do the next one. Mine was the best VR experience because PlayStation VR has been really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I added Beat Saber, Tetris Effect, Shooty Fruity, and I kind of bundled Astronaut and Moss together, or Astrobot and Moss, because I just played the demos of them, but they're still very impressive.
Why is Drunken Bar Fight not on here? Disappointed with you.
That was I think it was last year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe. I don't know. That's right. I should.
That might
I
have
should
been
done
last
that
year,
one,
yeah.
too. Yeah, Drunken Bar Fight is a lot of fun too. But in a year of Tetris Effect and Beat Saber and Astrobot, like, I don't know if it competes with that.
Sure.
But for me, I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber, like almost every night, so that has to be my favorite.
Is that the one that's advertised all the time?
Yeah, right now the bundle.
Beat Saber? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because there's that new Borderlands and Beat Saber bundle for VR, so I think they've been pushing that pretty hard.
They have a new bundle out?
Yeah, they
Jeez,
announced
man,
it
they
right
make
at Black
a bunch of-
Friday. Kind of like, so the best deals of the
Huh.
year just passed, and then they announced it.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, Beat Saber takes it, huh?
Yeah, I think
But have
so.
you beat Sonic Mania?
No.
It's the sound of defeat right there.
I beat Sonic Mania. So, everyone listening is like, "What's happening now?"
Yeah, exactly.
Go dig through our YouTube channel; you'll find it.
You need to. I should be copyrighty claiming like everybody's songs
Right,
with that. Anything that says Sonic Mania.
definitely.
That's my song. The game idea of the year. We've had some pretty good ones pop up in the Failbag, as well as some others. We have to go right away with the Immortal It Ain't Butter.
Yeah.
I
I
really
mean-
feel like there's no other option.
Oi, my giblets. I don't know. The second one below that, like I assume the Playable Monster Hunter game was the one where we were talking about like Bigfoot, Nessie, and like all those creatures teaming up. Is that the one you were talking about? Yeah,
Yep.
that was pretty
Yep,
good.
exactly.
I could see that
Yep,
being
there was
good.
the other game idea was basically trying to catch Bigfoot and Nessie and Bigfoot monsters like that.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
I think, unironically, that one's probably the best. Right?
It's the most plausible.
I think I would actually I would actually play that game, I think. Next up, we have Mortal Kombat arcade machine, where you actually attach needles into yourself. And you lose
I
blood.
forgot about that.
You lose blood as your character loses. And our last one was one that we've somehow got into at the end of One Fail Bake. I'm not sure how it happened. Like many things that happen on this podcast. It was a game of trying to figure out what the best controller in your ass would be.
Oh my god!
And the worst part is, we stopped the recording, and it probably went on for another 10 minutes after that.
Yeah, it did not slow down at all.
Which it definitely was the Kinect, right? So it was determined.
Only if you put it in sideways.
If you need a colonoscopy.
I don't know. I just I like all these ridiculous ideas, but I think That Ain't Butter is still my favorite just because I can't believe that somebody came up with that crazy shit. The magazine published it, and then we actually found the dude on Twitter. It's just knowing that it's a real person who wrote that, and not just something that they made up to print in their magazine, is just so much more satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even make it up.
No, it's so fucked up.
It's so weird, and that's why it's on the top of my list too. That Ain't Butter.
Love
it. Yeah, totally agree. That game. That should be a game jam game. Somebody needs to.
Oh yeah,
make it happen.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Good stuff. Justin's been distracted with trying to figure out which controller he wants to shove up his butt now.
Google images.
I would suggest
first time. Might I suggest the Wii remote just to start?
It's probably the best one to start, I suppose.
Well, I think the Atari 2600 we settled on was your introduction.
I don't know.
And if you're looking for something crazy, move to the Duke.
The plug and play scene is the Wild West.
Ooh.
I think that It Ain't Butter, that was after I was gone, but I was looking at quite a bit of that stuff. It was pretty funny.
But you still listen to the podcast religiously, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. I do listen to it, yes.
Just kidding.
gotta get our download there,
Yeah, that's right.
We don't want it to be 0.
Right. Gotta hit 5 every time.
Yeah, other than that, I don't have much other than just kind of talking about our favorites. I can start off with mine. I mean, I made a whole category for it, so my favorite was PlayStation VR.
It's not a game.
I know, but you can't really pick it. Just one game out of it, even if I did down below.
Well, that's not fair. It's my favorite game was PlayStation 4. My second favorite game was Switch. My third favorite game was I'm out of systems. NES, there we go.
Whatever one you like up your butt.
All of them is the answer. It was a good year for VR, though, that's for sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely worth owning, I think, at this point. If you have any interest in it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go to the bar to fight now.
Just do it in your own home.
Yeah. Punch your shelf like I did the one time. That kind of hurt.
So the only real games I've played new this year are the new Call of Duty and then PUBG now that it's out on PS4. That's pretty much the only games I've really played. I'm still playing WoW. So
20
that
years
expansion
later.
That's
came out this
that still
year.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the game that's interested me the most would be Detroit Become Human. I didn't play it, but I've watched a lot of gameplay of it. I don't know if it's a game that I would actually want to play, but it definitely looks pretty good. But
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I haven't picked that up yet. Like, I've played almost all those other games that like I did and liked them. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird year. Like I said, I didn't play a lot of new stuff. Smash, I think, is probably the best experience I've had. One of them. Also, you kind of forget about it, and it got kind of passed by in a lot of the Game Awards stuff this year, but I think Monster Hunter Worlds was pretty fantastic game and like a huge improvement for that series. And I liked the old series, even though it was like broken and weird and not explained well. And this game was still broken and weird and not explained super well, but it was a lot better. And I think all of us on the podcast, well, except for Nate, played a lot of it. Andy and I played a ton of it together. And like we dropped off, right? Like the end game wasn't anything I was interested
the grind
in.
hits.
Yeah. But like those 50 hours to get there, that was a good time, like a really good time.
Yeah.
So
I forgot that came out this year.
yeah, I did too. It was so early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then Red Dead, just because, like, I mean, it was an amazing experience. Like that soundtrack, was great. It's hard to not put that on my list.
Well, especially in marathon mode.
Yeah, that whole 32 hours straight
Marathon mode. Yeah.
torture mode.
Yeah, this year has been a good year for me to, I picked up a PS4, and that's been kind of fun to jump into just a ton of games that I missed. And so I definitely would say that Red Dead is at the top of my list. It's an incredible game and deserves all the praise that it gets, I think. And then I played my first basically PS4 game. I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and that was a great experience. I mean, it was a good first PS4 game to play, and so that was really fun and exciting. And then a game I think that I kind of forgot about, but Mega Man on the Switch, Mega Man 11,
Yep.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mega Man 11 on the Switch. That was it was nice to play that type of game and see the updates, but really enjoy it. It just was a good experience as well. So those were 3 games I was pretty happy with this year.
So what about going forward? Do you guys have like something like you really want to play next year coming out?
The main one I'm interested in is the Anthem.
Oh, yep.
Is that the Good Charlotte game?
It should be, right? I hope that soundtrack's in there. I suggest checking out the trailer for it. But that I don't know if I'll get it right away or what, but that's probably the most interested game as of right now.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping to just continue to jump into the PS4 a little bit more and get caught up on a lot of good games that I missed. And so my goal this year is to play through quite a bit of those and really jump back into the NES and really start completing games instead of enjoying them for 30 minutes or so. I really want to just start knocking out some of the ones that I've been wanting to do for a while. So
Yeah, I don't have anything really that's coming out next year that I'm super excited for. I guess if Metroid Prime 4 gets a 2019 release date, that'd be high on my list, but I don't think that's going to be until 2020 realistically. But
Yeah. Even if they say it, it'll probably be delayed. Yeah.
yeah, there's just nothing on any platform right now that I can think of that I'm super like must play excited about.
I guess I can add Wreckfest for coming out on Xbox.
Really?
Supposed to be like March-ish, I think, next year. That one looks kind of interesting. I'll probably get it on PC instead, but
Yeah, I have it on PC now,
yeah.
and the the lawnmower racing or demo derby is pretty fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I might end up getting that for Xbox too. So that's kind of the another one.
Yeah.
What's you, Andy?
I don't know. I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, there's probably games that are announced that'll be like, yeah, I'll grab it, but there's nothing to be like, oh, I can't wait. You know?
Right. It's honestly kind of how I feel like with 2018 too. Like I got excited for Red Dead like right when it was coming up, but there really wasn't anything this year that blew me away. I'm getting old and cynical. Just give me an indie game and go away.
I suppose Crackdown is pushed back to 2019 again.
So, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's been pushed back so much. There's no way that's not going to be just
what, the fourth time now?
Yeah, that's a garbage fire. Like, there's no way that's going to be anything remotely playable. Gosh, at this point, like, they should just sweep it under the rug. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, just let it disappear into the night.
Did you guys see that Beyond came out? Or Below, I think it's called.
What's that?
It's like an indie game that for Xbox that they announced like when the Xbox launched.
And it just dropped?
It just dropped like now, and like nobody's talking about it. So like they've been working on this thing for like 4 years or something crazy.
It's a good thing they released it on like the worst selling platform.
Yeah. Well, it's on Game Pass, so that'll probably help. But
I saw there was like several games that were dropping off of Game Pass here. Like 7 at the end of the year
I believe
here.
it. Yeah.
I almost bought Game Pass.
That's still the best
Yeah,
deal.
because somebody had an article, PC Gamer or something. Remember where I read it? They had an article on like how it was like $59.99, and you could buy the year pass for $59.99. Like they linked to Amazon. Well, they linked the right one for the UK, and then for the US, they linked a 12-month subscription to Xbox Live. So I like wondered how many people bought that mistakenly and were just pissed.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just I love the idea of Game Pass, and I just look at that every time, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, nope. I know I'll never turn my Xbox on. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I really wish I just hadn't bought one. It's been collecting dust for years. And I've got like 12 games for it. I mean, I have like 20 games for the system, and I bet half of them are factory sealed. And I bought them on clearance.
You're a collector then.
I think my Xbox One collection is going to end up on the likes of my N64 collection, where it's like I'll spray paint my system eventually and then just keep 4 games in a corner and never talk about them. So, I don't know. At least it plays Netflix, I guess.
That's rare.
But yeah, nothing does that.
Okay, well we're well past our 2 hours.
Who's taking?
So
who takes us out? We get our
Justin.
We get our 2
That's-
taker outers.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it probably should be for old times.
I think Justin
sakes.
does it for nostalgic
I'll
sake.
only
yeah.
do that if I can touch your throat.
Hey, you can touch anything. It's fine.
MGC.
And he said throat, not scrote, so don't let him get you on that one.
I remember how I'm supposed to do this.
I don't remember what our sign off is.
You did it for like 30 episodes.
All right, so you can find everything Weekend Rental at the website. It's going to be www.weekendpodcast.com. On there, there'll be links to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We do have an email. You can go ahead and email us any questions, comments, pictures
Mm-hmm.
to
More pictures.
pictures, please. weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on iTunes and Google Play. And as always, be kind, rewind.
I liked that.
It felt good.
Bananas.
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 Bananas. That also felt good.
Mm. Dingle Kringle.
That does sound like a weird Christmas dessert. Can you please pass that Dingle Kringle, please?
But the combination of it being an STD and a dessert now. Oh, God.
It's a 50-50 chance.
It's right over there next to the diddle. You see it?